Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the wild world of crypto once again, and trust me, there's a lot to unpack. So, first things first, let's set the stage with the overall market sentiment. Right now we're sitting at a 64 on the Fear and Greed Index, which is exactly where we were yesterday. That's right, the needle hasn't really budged much, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. It tells us the market is still leaning bullish without tipping into euphoria, and that's usually a sweet spot, optimism without hysteria. The content in this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. The cryptocurrency market is highly volatile and can result in significant financial loss. You are solely responsible for your investment decisions. Now let's talk numbers. Bitcoin is hovering around the $106,000 mark, still holding strong. That's a psychological resistance for some traders, but so far it's not facing massive rejection. Meanwhile, Ethereum is sitting at $2,600, and while that might not sound like a breakout, it's actually a pretty big deal. Ethereum has been stuck in a tight range for what feels like forever, so even a modest move, like a 2.5 to 3% increase in the last 24 hours, is significant. Why? Because Ethereum has been that slow, steady ship, and now it looks like it's finally leaving the port. So as long as Ethereum keeps nudging up and doesn't fall back into that stagnant range, I'd say the broader crypto market is alive and breathing well. But you didn't come here to hear me wax poetic about Ethereum. You came for ZBCN, so let's get into the heart of it. ZBCN's May momentum. Positive fundamentals are in. Let's kick things off with some extremely positive news from the Zebec Network, ZBCN. They recently posted an update on their official X, formerly Twitter, account, and it's worth paying attention to. In their May 2025 report, Zebec highlighted strong traction across both payroll and card transaction volumes. This is big because it shows real-world usage, not just speculative hype. And here's where it gets even more interesting. They noted that partial post-acquisition data from Science Card is now starting to flow in. Full integration hasn't even taken hold yet, and they're already seeing a boost. So if things are already moving with just partial data, imagine the numbers once the whole system is streamlined. The implication? Expect even stronger reports in the months ahead. They also attached their monthly volume report, which outlines all the nitty-gritty details. If you're someone who likes to look under the hood and analyze transaction flow, this document is a goldmine. The data paints a bullish picture of user adoption, protocol activity, and consistent volume, all signs of a healthy ecosystem. Buyback program equals bullish signal? Another bullish factor is ZBCN's token buyback program, which a lot of you OGs on this channel already know about. If you've been here since the early days of my ZBCN coverage, you'll remember that we've talked about this initiative extensively. The buyback is monthly, and it's based on both transaction volumes and partnership performance. This isn't just symbolic, it's designed to reduce supply, increase scarcity, and potentially drive price appreciation. Fewer tokens in circulation equals increased value per token, assuming demand remains constant or grows. Classic supply and demand mechanics. But let me ask you something important. Have you taken any profits from ZBCN recently? Especially those of you who got in early, maybe even before I started covering it. Be honest with yourself, because look, I always say this, if you don't take profits, someone else will. Psychology, volatility, and Trump tweets. Crypto is volatile by nature. All it takes is one tweet from Donald Trump or any other macro shock. Regulatory FUD, exchange shutdowns, whales dumping liquidity, and everything comes crashing down like a house of cards. We've seen this story play out so many times. And I'm not just talking about ZBCN. I mean the entire crypto space. Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, nothing is safe when panic hits. That's why it's crucial to lock in gains when you're up significantly. Even if it's just shaving off a portion of your bag, it's better than watching it vanish. Take the recent Plume news, for example. The project nosedived over 10% after co-founder Eugene Shen's death. But it didn't stop there. The price fell off a cliff and still hasn't recovered. The market doesn't care how bullish your fundamentals are if sentiment flips negative in an instant. So please, protect your capital, have a game plan. Whether your strategy is to take profits after 2x, 3x, or 5x, just make sure you stick to it. ZBCN price action and unlock fears. Let's zoom in on the current price action for ZBCN. Right now, we're looking at a price of $0.044, which marks a 27% drop in the last 24 hours. Ouch, right? But that's not the full story. When you check the volume, it's up over 31%, signaling increased trading activity. That means interest is still alive. People are either buying the dip or panic selling. Sentiment-wise, 87% of users are still bullish on the project. That's huge. People still believe in the long-term potential despite the short-term chaos. In fact, one comment really stood out to me. Someone said, "What part of this chart looks bearish?" Don't let them fool you. This thing could rip faster than... Well, I won't finish that quote, but the point is clear. People are still confident. But if everyone's so confident, why is the price tanking? Monthly token unlocks, the double-edged sword. Here's a key factor: token unlocks. Every 15th of the month, ZBCN releases a percentage of its token supply. The next unlock is set for June 15th, and it will release 2.2% of the total max supply. Now, that may not sound like much, but in crypto, perception is everything. For some investors, just hearing the word unlock is enough to trigger a sell-off. People want to be ahead of the curve, get out before the new tokens hit the market, and avoid potential dilution. It's a recurring pattern. In fact, the last unlock on May 15th played out similarly. 5 days before the unlock, ZBCN dipped from 221 cents and the sell-off began. The community was talking about it non-stop, even in my comments section. But guess what? Right after the unlock happened, ZBCN exploded upward. Anyone who sold early probably regretted it. Could that happen again? Maybe. But don't just rely on past patterns. Do your own research. Previous trends don't guarantee future outcomes. Technical analysis, double top formation. Let's dive into a bit of technical analysis. In my video yesterday, I talked about a rare chart pattern we hadn't seen in recent ZBCN history, a double top. And sure enough, the price broke below the key support at 0052 CES, confirming that reversal pattern. Here's the breakdown. ZBCN hit a high of 00070 on May 30th, then pulled back. Unlike previous rallies where it would recover within 24 hours, this time it stalled. It retested the highs a couple of days later and got rejected hard. That's classic double top behavior and usually signals a short-term downtrend. Where to buy the dip? So if you're looking to add to your ZBCN position or maybe start a new one, where should you consider buying? Here are 2 key zones to watch. 0.038, a short-term support level that could act as a springboard. 0.33, a deeper correction zone that could offer a golden entry opportunity. These aren't just arbitrary numbers. They're based on previous accumulation zones and historical bounce levels. If ZBCN dips into these zones and broader sentiment remains stable, I'd say that's a high-risk, high-reward entry point. But again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Learn today, don't just follow voices. I say this all the time, but it's worth repeating. Learn technical analysis. Don't just rely on influencers or traders, even me. TA is the language of the market. When you understand chart patterns, RSI, MACD, support resistance, and volume indicators, you can make faster and more confident decisions. You won't need to sit around waiting for someone else's take. You'll know whether to buy, hold, or sell because you've built your own edge. Memecoin mayhem? A hidden drain? One last point. A lot of you noticed a new Memecoin I mentioned yesterday. That thing went absolutely bonkers. Its market cap shot from $800K to $2.31 million, then crashed down to $281K, and then rebounded back to around $900K. That is pure volatility. And here's the thing. It's possible that some of the ZBCN outflows went into this Memecoin. People love to chase pumps. They move their money from solid plays into moonshot gambles and sometimes get burned. Others walk away with bags of profit, only if they know when to sell. Which brings me to this. Most crypto investors should learn how to sell before they learn how to buy. It's the most important skill in the game. Final thoughts. To wrap things up, ZBCN fundamentals are still strong. Volume, integrations, and buybacks are all moving forward. Short-term pullbacks are natural, especially around unlock periods. Sentiment remains bullish, and there are solid support zones to watch. Most importantly, always have a strategy to take profits and manage your risk. Crypto moves fast. Be prepared, be disciplined, and never stop learning. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on ZBCN in the comments. Are you buying the dip or waiting it out? Catch you in the next one. Peace.